You want to shoot a video with me? Put you on the website again? Say what's up to the people? Yeah? No? Maybe? What's up, everybody? My name is Corey Mayu. I'm the owner and founder over here at Functional Lifestyles, and I want to give you guys a quick little about us video about how our program works, how FL started, and a little bit of knowledge about how everything works. So the first thing I want to kind of jump into is our model. I would say our model is definitely the thing that's really probably my favorite part about how this whole organization is set up, just for like the actual experience for you guys, the clients. You know, I've been in this industry for 16 years now, and I've done everything from personal training to group training to CrossFit to boot camps to, you know, working with athletes and strength and conditioning levels at group settings and individual settings. And I've always loved the dynamic of group training with the energy it provides, but I've also always done more personal training because I thought it was always better for the client, right? When I looked at personal training, I was like, okay, personal training is the elite of all services when it comes to training because it's very specific to you. You're the only person I'm thinking about when I'm running your programming, you know, when I'm coaching you for that hour. The only downsides that I ever saw to personal training inside my career was just that cost sustainability for most, right? It's more expensive, obviously, when there's only one time paying the coach at the time, right? Then the other side, when I was doing CrossFit was probably my first real experience into kind of like group fitness. And when I left athletics and team sports, I did feel this kind of lost puppy phase of my training. And I was like, man, what am I like really training for? CrossFit actually kind of gave me that outlet where it gave me a little bit more sense of purpose in the gym. But really what it provided for me more than anything was the sense of community. And I think the community side to group training is what makes it so special and what makes it so much more enjoyable for the client, because it allows you to have other forms of accountability outside of just paying for a service and having one coach there. You know, you have other people you're going with that are either in class or you're working out with friends, family, significant others. You know, and I think that community and that energy of other people being there, like I said, is what makes it so cool. But what I didn't like throughout my experience with group fitness was when there's one person coaching and there's 20, 30, 40, 50 people in a class, you're just not getting any coaching. You're not really getting a lot of attention. And then the form and the technique and all those other things unfortunately start to suffer. You know, and I think group training has really blown up over the last couple of decades with things like F45, Barry's Boot Camp, Orange Theory Fitness, you know, CrossFit. And I love that model. That's why I think that model is so successful. But the only knock I would say to those models is because when you have that many people in a class setting with one coach or even two coaches at that much, it's just hard to get the attention. So we're a semi-private training facility. We cap every single session here to 10 clients, and we have two coaches that work every hour. It gives you that sweet balance between being very individualized with only having a 5-to-1 ratio coach to client with the full class, but still enough people in that setting where you get the energy, you get the community, you know, you get all the cool stuff that, you know, group training provides. That's how we landed on the 10-2 model. Now the programming is kind of the second thing for us. You know, for me being a programming, fitness, health nerd, over the years of just self-exploration of just my own training coming from athletics, you know, having more of a bodybuilding style approach with my parents when I worked out when I was younger, then getting into more performance-based stuff with CrossFit and Olympic lifting, then having a serious back injury and a right knee injury, I wanted to find a way where it's like, man, there's got to be a way that we can be strong, fast, and good looking, right? I think a lot of us, we chase aesthetics, and I definitely have always been someone that loves having aesthetics, but I also love performance. Like I want to be able to go play sports or a pickup game or go golf or go surfing or go do all these things that I love to do outside the gym. So I landed on this kind of movement-based strength and conditioning approach, and that's what we do here. So strength and conditioning, like I said, is performance-based. It's designed around getting you stronger, getting you faster, improving aerobic capacity, whatever the end objective might be from that actual programming. The movement-based is definitely the thing that makes us different here, right? And that's kind of the approach to that strength and conditioning. Number one is kind of a philosophy behind our coaching. We care more about how you move versus how much and how fast. I don't care about strength or speed yet in the beginning, and the reason why is because there's a foundation of other things that need to be addressed. Number one, the simple one, it could just be a coordination thing. Or have you ever been taught the right form, the right technique, or had that proper coaching that you need to be successful with these lifts? But then number two is looking at some of the hardware side to movement, which is like, do you actually have enough range of motion in the joints and muscles to be able to perform these things? Do you actually have enough strength and stability in these joints and muscles to be able to perform these lifts or things that you're doing? And we try to really come from the approach that if I can build a solid foundation where you can move well first, address maybe previous injuries or surgeries, and get you to start moving at a competent level, it then makes everything else so much easier. I can get you strong, I can get you fast, I can get you good looking, and I don't have to deal with any speed bumps. Now that being said, it's something that we're always working on because, even for someone like me who's been doing this their whole life and been working out for a very long time, I still deal with back stuff, every now and then. Now, especially since I'm golfing, all these things that I do outside the gym, there's always a little bit of maintenance work. So that's always been kind of a big philosophy for us, is really making the movement competency more important than anything else. Now, the other side to it, and then I saw this really with athletics and just physical hobbies outside the gym, as always, is the human body is three-dimensional. And I think a lot of us tend to forget this when we go to the gym. A lot of us, our training is just very linear. It's push, pull, squat, deadlift, everything's up and down, forward and backwards. But we have to remember, we also laterally move, okay? This is unfortunately where a lot of injuries happen in real life. But we also rotate. This is the most powerful plane of motion. Anybody that's ever done anything athletic understands that, right? So we incorporate a lot of rotational movements, a lot of lateral movements. We obviously have a huge foundation of linear movements as well. But then another thing is remembering that we are also asymmetrical, meaning like my left and my right are very different. I'm stronger on one side, I'm more coordinated on one side, I'm more mobile on one side, I have more injuries on one side. So we incorporate a huge amount of unilateral training. Unilateral concepts are basically saying that we can trade single leg, single arm, single side, asymmetrical loading, half kneeling, things that challenge the system left to right a little bit differently. And what that does, it allows us to create more symmetry in your body and your movement and your strengths by addressing them separately versus always doing barbell squats or barbell deadlifts where you're having bilateral movements, things working at the same time. Those are great for strength and power development, but they need to be combined with movements that allow us to move better so we can avoid these injuries, we can feel better, and we can accelerate the growth curve of what we're doing inside the gym. So that was really, from a programming philosophy, is really what made us different inside of that approach. We do all of our programming here 6 weeks at a time. So every day of the week is a different workout, but what you do on Monday's workout is gonna be the same thing every Monday for that 6-week cycle. Same workout all day long. So we run 60 something classes a week here, so we run a lot of classes. It's the same thing all day long for that day. But we encourage you guys to try to pick, no matter how many days a week are coming with us, to stick to the same days. And the reason why is because we'll track everything through a system called Wodify here. We'll track the weights that you use in the gym. We'll track the times that you get on these workouts. Anything that's immeasurable. We're tracking body composition through our InBody. We track our movement screens through an FMS screening. And that data allows us to compare week by week on the improvements that you're making, like what strength or what weights are you using in the gym, what times are you getting, and then next week when you come back to that same workout, us coaches can give you guys a little bit more feedback and knowledge on what we suggest moving forward. And that really allows us to kind of, when we look at progressively overloading the body to get you stronger, faster, and improve body composition, you have to have the data to actually have something to compare it against, right? So the data makes life really easy for both us as coaches and obviously you guys as clients. Every 2 cycles, 6-week cycle, second 6-week cycle, we'll do a 1-week deload. Deload is literally meant to say, hey, every client and athlete I've ever worked with, including myself, is not that good at recovery and mobility. So we do 1 week every quarter where we focus a little bit more on stretching and mobility and body weight training and a lot less intensity, a lot less volume, where we can still move, where we have like active recovery, but it gives your body a little bit of active rest. Now the last part, which I believe is really our bread and butter, and the thing that I find the most impactful on your goals and your results here, is our check-ins. We do check-ins on a one-on-one kind of structure, meaning like even though we're a semi-private facility where we have classes in a group setting, you also have check-ins with your coach. So you will be assigned to a coach here on who we believe is going to be best for your personality, your goals, your needs, everything else. But the check-ins are designed to say, hey, there's 168 hours in a week. The average person comes here 3 or 4 times a week. So if I have a client coming 4 hours a week here, where the program's written, the coach is there pushing you, the coach is there correcting form, I still have 164 hours left every single week as a coach where I have to cross my fingers hoping that you get your due diligence done to be successful with what you're trying to do. So this is what's movement look like, what's exercise in the days you're not here look like, what's your nutrition look like, what's your sleep look like, what's your stress management look like, what's your community and environment look like around you, what's your mindset look like every day. These are what we call our 6 dimensions, what is primarily what we focus our check-in structures on, because when you look at health a little bit more holistically and you look at the whole system, it's much easier to fix and address things with a lot less effort because we have the whole system working for you versus just having really, really good workouts and then screwing everything else up outside of the gym. So the check-ins, the way that we structure them here, you'll have up to weekly check-ins for the first 12 weeks. We do a 12-week commitment on all programs here for that reason, because we feel that as a minimum effective dose to be successful with getting the ball started and creating these new habits. Once we get outside of that 12-week mark, it's then just monthly check-ins. And the check-ins are primarily focused on 2 things. Number 1, giving you guys structure so you feel like you actually have a plan and guidance on the hours you're not with us. And number 2, the most important thing, which we all pay for here, is accountability. The reason why you will be more successful within a system that has accountability as its primary focus is because knowledge and structure are great, but when you're not accountable and not motivated to getting that work done, it doesn't matter how good the plan is. So the check-ins for us are really our big piece, right? So I hope that gives you guys a little bit more knowledge. I hope to try not to make this video too long for you guys. I hope Evan makes a cool little video for you guys at the end to really showcase a little bit more of our community. I would really like to tie in the last piece I think that makes this gym so special, and it's you guys and the community that we've created. We've worked with, we've been open, we're shooting this in 2023, we've worked with over 1,700 clients. We have 390 here currently. We're opening up a second location and we're growing, and we want to impact more lives, and we want to get you guys to tie this community in, because the community for me is what makes my job so exciting, because I love being around like-minded people that want to better their health, feel better, increase their energy. Everything that you have is goals for yourself. So that being said, take care. We'll see you guys in the gym.